a super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
Why are we allowed to do this?
I don't know why.
We should not be allowed to do this.
It's just like Phil shouldn't be allowed to give us I guess, what is that, a music video entrance? I don't know.
I don't even know if you call it that because it's like part of my favorite game show, I guess. I love what he did there. It cracks me up to no end. I love what he did. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to From the Ashes on About Face Media. We are super glad that you are here tonight. It's going to be a super good time. New artwork. I see to you as well. Some new artwork. I'm not sure what artwork you're talking. You mean behind us? No, that's always been there. I'm not sure what that is. What is that?
It's like an eagle with like an American flag. I don't know.
It's pretty cool. I love that you have is that the M16?
Yeah, it's like the broken down. It's out of one of the pages for like the TM or something like that. And it's like all the internals, and that's for the M67.
Where did you get these things?
I don't know, online.
They look like you stole them out of a Angie New. Angie. Is Angie a new mom? I hope so. That would be super cool. Hang on, let's check the Angie. Oh, Angle New. Angle. I thought you said Angie. Sorry. No. So our friends at Warrior's Next Adventure, Nicholas Ron, was here probably 2 months ago, and he's like, hey, you guys got a great thing going on, but it could be better. And he went and he bought us through his nonprofit, Warrior's Next Adventure. They bought us a whole bunch of stuff, a new camera, and what else did they get us? A whole bunch of headphones, microphones, all kinds of cool stuff.
To hook it all together.
But
you're not smart enough to put it together.
I'm not smart enough to put it all together. And Phil has tried a couple times to set us up for success, and everybody's tried to hook us up and failed miserably. So it's a problem through what we're streaming through. So we have a highly technical expert who is also really good at jiu-jitsu coming out sometime in the very near future to hook all this stuff up for us and show us what we're doing wrong and why it's not working. So
we sit there with our fingers crossed, and then and then we will no longer be here. We'll be there. And
yeah. We will leave the infirmary because we don't need to be in the infirmary anymore. We can go back to our regular broadcast studio, which will be super cool. And
we're gonna decorate a little bit.
Yeah.
What colors were you thinking?
I am not thinking about painting the super secret location in any sense of the word.
Do you want to paint? I wasn't thinking like
I will be here.
I was thinking about like the stuff, that goes behind us.
Well, I'd love to put the raids decks that we got.
Decks.
We've got a ton of stuff that people have sent us. I mean,
it'll be cool, guys. It'll be great. So
we've got some great sponsors.
Bear with us. I was just realizing, I think it's up my shorts tonight, not up yours.
It just looks like you sat in bubble gum or something, and now there's like hair stuck in the bubble gum.
Is that better?
Of course it is. Let me move the.
I think that's slightly better.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. New angle of camera. Never mind. Looks. Oh, I get what I was talking. Crystal Rodenbaugh's watching. Why? Good Lord, that's bananas. Whatever. But yeah. So how was your week, man? How did things go? I know
I say this every week, but it's Monday, bro. So my Monday has been good, and then last week I guess was not terrible. Nothing catastrophic happened. I guess we almost went whitewater rafting in the backyard.
In your backyard.
What about you? How was yours? Any good stories?
I mean, other than graduating yoga school, nothing overly aggressive. That was super fun. I had a good time with my final presentation. Well, you know Maddie. You met Maddie. Maddie has taught yoga at our academy a couple of times. And I was walking up to the front of the room with all my stuff to give my final presentation. He's like, bro, you need a hand? I'm just trying to he's just super helpful that way. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. Here, put this on. And he's like, no. It was odd. I'm like, dude, it's no big deal. If you feel like anything's going to break or you feel like you're going to go unconscious, just tap on me. And he's like, and then he went a little white. And he's like, what are you going to do, actually? He's like, I just came here for yoga. He actually That's what I love about these platforms is that so many people have reached out and want to get started in jiu-jitsu. Like my buddy, Josh, Dr. Josh, got started in jiu-jitsu listening to us. And now he goes to the Gracie place up in Aurora.
Nice.
And he's happy. Yeah. What's his name? Tony Paczynski, I think is his name.
I do not know him.
He's a good dude. He's a real good dude.
So I'll screw up the name, I'm sure.
I already screwed it up. Every time I text him, I spell jiu-jitsu wrong, and he thinks that's hysterical. What do you call it? He is the We Defy guy ambassador up in Aurora, whereas we are the house down here in the Douglas County area. But yeah, so people, I love the opportunities that we have to turn people on to things like, I mean, Craig Stakowitz and his kids have started doing jiu-jitsu because they heard on here, and he's one of those guys.
With yoga too. It's not just about choking people and breaking arms,
but that is the fun part.
That is fun. But yoga and playing music and doing art and all these different things that we bring light to, I think, it might not, that light bulb might not go off for you this week, but it might go off, for somebody else this week, and the light bulb might go off next week for you. You know what I mean? Like it's that, just bringing light to positive things to keep us a healthier community.
Anything that you guys folks want to do. And if you guys send us some great suggestions, like, hey, my brother-in-law has got this great charity or nonprofit for veterans, and all they do is, change tires on trucks or something. I don't even know. Whatever you want to do. There's so many great organizations out there. 8 Up Industries. We love those folks. WTF Radio. They've been nothing but supportive to us. Guitars for Veterans. Great people. Yep. That Bernie was a super fun interview. And there's just so many opportunities out there. And I love that we get the chance to bring attention to that. So Ted Snyder is watching. Ted, there has got to be something you can better be doing with your time than listening to this radio show right now.
If he's friends with you, I bet not.
So Ted, that's true. Ted was my team leader for my first deployment to Iraq. And it was so, and we talked about last week on the show, we lost a couple of guys a week ago, 20 years ago. And so I had a whole bunch of friends over from the old unit, and we had coffee and sat around the campfire. My old first sergeant was there. My old team leader was there. One of my old pilots, George, was there.
Very cool.
It really was. And those kind of things need to happen more often. Like, I'm sure 25th ID plans the 20-year Iraq deployment reunion and whatnot.
Right.
It's way more fun than just connecting with your homies in the front yard.
What's super cool is my original unit, which I sent you a picture from.
Mm-hmm. I know. I love that. That's so
fucking love this, by the way. So if you guys see,
it's on WTF Moments.
It's on WTF Moments.
Thanks, Ken.
They show the fucking pathway through grass where like soldiers have been passing through.
And it's bare.
And I'm telling you,
it's bare.
Right now, that is directly in front of my old company in my old unit at 235 Cacti Infantry. And I just found it absolutely hilarious. Like, I'm like, I used to cut that grass. I used to prune that grass, used to water that grass, and I used to never walk in it because I was scared for my life if I did. But either way,
you were like E2 through E6 there, weren't you?
I was E1 through E5 there, and then I got my 6 when I went across the street to Wolfhounds.
That's amazing to spend. So Ted just texts. He's like, "Hey, you got to move that Lysol can." Ted, clearly you have not been with us for very long. The Lysol can is older than the show is, man, and that's not a joke either. So the Lysol can stays. We are trying very hard to get Johnson & Johnson to sponsor the show because, hey, look, we're constantly pimping Lysol here. So
but they don't have a 30-second commercial. They get the whole show.
They would get Johnson & Johnson. I will give you an hour-long commercial on About Face Media if you sponsor this show. We'll make it happen.
Also, you know what? I forgot about something this last week. I know you've done yours, I believe, in the past, but I did my my radio show with Stand Up Radio. We had those guys on.
Oh, yes.
Did I say that
right? The Swearing In podcast.
Swearing In. Why did I say Stand Up?
Ted, listen to that. Listen to the Swearing In podcast. You need to be on it.
We'll post, but that was a ton of fun.
He's super cool, isn't he? So he's gonna have a radio show on About Face.
Yeah.
Because what he does is very important. I think.
Enjoy talking to him.
Reminder to clean your ass. Well, okay. Patrick GLZ Styles. Who's Patrick Styles? Do you know that guy? Need to put gravel down that. Helen Gruda Mattingly is watching. Well, welcome to the show, Helen. Is it really? Hi, Helen.
All right, so
you have got to do Carl.
I'm the one that's going to do Carl. Okay, so here's the deal. I came up with the private Carl section or idea called Rob, and I was like, hey, I got this idea. I want to do a weekly bit where we talk about like a military private Carl.
Somebody's a dumbass.
We have grown into maybe private Carol, just that guy.
Oh, it's the tattoo shop owner that was on it. I didn't know that.
So
it's our guest from last week or 2 weeks ago.
We've just kind of used that bit for something crazy we heard either in the news or something that happened, but it's always military related. Obviously, it's a military radio show.
Yep.
So anyway, let me read this fucking headline.
The pleasure of internet radio. We can say whatever we want.
Now, I have read this article in several different things, but I just the layout of Newsweek was pretty easy. So this is from Newsweek. New York hotels evicting homeless veterans to house migrants.
What the Christ is happening in our nation?
Hotels have been literally kicking out. There's all sorts of programs where the government, state, whatever, will pay for homeless veterans to be in a hotel. Okay,
which is weird to start with, but keep going.
There's so many other ways we could deal with these problems, but
that is not fixing the problem.
Okay, so they have decided to pay approximately or estimated $100 more if they house a migrant than a veteran. So they're getting kicked out of the hotels so that this flux of migrants have their hotel. So, folks, these are people fucking.
Now, we are a nonprofit, so we are not political. However, we are going to talk about these things
that have put their lives on the line for this country. Okay, literally. I mean, some of these people, like these might be people that left part of their self in another country, right? Like some of these people might have Purple Hearts, the real motherfucking ones that are like awarded by the DOD and on a DD-214.
Every show he slides it in. Because if it's not on your DD-214, that doesn't really happen.
So we're going to put them out on the streets to people that are, I'm not even going to give my opinion because my opinion is so in depth, we don't have enough time. But we have people from another country pushing out our veterans. And I think that's all it should even matter. Like, why are we shitting on them all the damn time? They already lived and served in a job which you basically just get shit on. It's horrible. It's fun if you make getting shit on fun, and embracing the suck. But that's literally what our lives are when you're in. So I don't think
Joe Allen,
homeless veterans should be getting bumped
Craig
out.
Stackowitz says the hotel wants the best dollar, so now paying the hotel more for non-vets. Hotel just doing what is best for them.
Again,
I'm an advocate.
Totally not hating on the hotel.
Advocate.
If I was the hotel manager or owner, that is not what would happen. I would take a smaller amount of money for the veterans than I would a non-veteran. I think I'd prioritize homeless veterans over pretty much everything. But either way, I'm not even on the hotel. Why is our fucking country paying more for
A? Why is that even an option? B?
Yeah.
No, that's not A. A is why are there service members, people that put their lives on the line, stepped forward, raised their right hand, and someone said, repeat after me, and they did. Why are those people homeless to begin with? Why are there homeless service members, homeless veterans? Why is that a thing? That shouldn't even be a topic of discussion. This should not have been a headline because why are there homeless service members? It's because of addiction. So
I would say it's a lot of it.
In the very short time that I worked in Purgatory, and that was the Department of Veterans Affairs Emergency Department.
I'm sorry. I actually feel bad for you for that.
I thought I was like, when I took the job, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go help my fellow veterans. Yeah, that was the wrong answer. There were guys who, there's a program in the VA called HUD-VASH. The VA will, sorry if you wanted to, Joe Allen. It's called HUD-VASH. If you were a homeless veteran, you go to this office and they'll be like, all right, here you go. We're going to find you a home. and we're going to pay for you to have a home. There were people that had those homes. They had apartments that the VA was paying for, and they chose to live on the street. It was a willing choice, and I don't understand that. And maybe it's just because of my position in life, but I would have these conversations with these veterans. Why would you rather be homeless than live in a warm home? And
But I think that's a topic and a subject that is across the board in the homeless epidemic.
Agreed.
It's not just veterans. I mean, there is something to be said about, obviously our mental health crisis, which is, in the homeless community is highly fueled by addiction. And a lot of them either got too far without getting the help that they need because it's very hard to get help.
Both know it's easy to slip into.
Hard to get help.
It's okay.
And it's easy to slip into a rut, and that rut can just start eroding away, and then you're in a deep dark hole. So we need to make programs.
Which is why this show exists.
Easier to get into. There needs to be more light brought into other programs outside of the VA because the VA fucking sucks, and start fucking helping people out. But let's not shit on the people that worked hard to be where they're at.
Well, you know who it's awesome is RJ's mission, and we're gonna bring RJ's mission in a hot second. Before we do, how do we solve this? How do we fix the people that we served with? Because I've run into people that I served with that are choosing to live alongside I-225 in Aurora in a tent. How can we fix this? What is the answer?
I don't think there's the perfect fix, but there's actions to be taken to make it better. And that's what I was just saying. Like, VA programs need to be easier to get into. If you walk in, you need to be able to get help. And it's not that easy.
No, not at all.
It's not.
I worked there and I couldn't get friends into
What
programs.
will happen is, very commonly is, we'll help you. Here's your appointment 4 months later.
Yep.
Motherfucker, you know what 4 months is like? That's like 4 days is an eternity when you need help. When you're in a mental health crisis, an addiction crisis, 4 days is a lot of time. 4 months? We'll see you in 4 months.
Yeah, when you're chewing on the barrel of a 45.
Then we're going to give you half-assed care from people that, not all, that are overran, don't give a shit. And so, the only thing we can do is keep bringing light to more programs like we do on the show, and actively try to get our brothers and sisters inside programs, and not just like, I'm not just talking to like go see a fucking therapist, like go on a ride with Motorcycle Relief Program. Okay. Go start playing the guitar with Guitars for Veterans. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Start feeling better about yourself, have a reason and a life that could be out there with, not living in a life of mental health crisis. Cause I'm not going to say I'm 100% mentally healthy. I mean, I'm a little mental health.
Not sitting in your basement talking to a fucking camera.
But, let's start giving people something in their life that makes them have a reason not to be a homeless addict on the street with PTSD.
We are so lucky that we don't even recognize how lucky that we are, because we have the Royces that will call you and be like, hey man, you haven't been to class in a couple of weeks. Come in and get your ass kicked. I haven't seen you in a while. And that's basically verbatim the text messages I'll get. And
you said it's so gentle for him.
Yeah. But that's just it, is that we have people in our lives that will send us a text message and be like, look, loser, you're kind of being a fuck. It's time to not be a fuck.
Yeah. There's been, I've had several moments where like a good brother was like, hey man, let's tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Strong work. You're right. So.
Craig Stack says, fear of being rejected or burned by asking for help. Many layers of crap that they have to deal with.
Yeah. Well said.
The man's a poet. What does Pat say? Iron will ranch down to his horse therapy for vets and their familia instead of funding free crack pipes and free mental health care. Joe Allen, you're the people I'm talking about. You are the best of people.
You know what? Common sense isn't so common, but I think paying for mental health over a crack pipe might be.
I have never done crack, so for all I know, it's awesome.
I'll plead the fifth.
For all I know, it's really cool, but I tend to doubt it. But yeah, so
never crack it. But.
No. Howdy, RJ. How the heck are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself, man?
I'm good, and I owe you minutes on the other end of this interview because I brought you in late because I decided I wanted to go on a rant.
It's all good, man.
I apologize. So what's up, man? How you living?
Busy, happy, busy, stressed, happy, stressed. It's all good,
Stressed? What do you got to be stressed about, man? You're living large. You're helping veterans. You're doing good stuff. What stress do you have in your life?
Actually, we have our first ticketed fundraiser this Saturday here locally in the Charleston area. So I've been pretty stressed about that because, when I started the nonprofit, it was basically fake it till you make it. It wasn't really a plan in place. It was just show up, volunteer, and then see where it goes. And then, a year ago, this past March, we got our 501c3. So ever since, it's been go, and trying to make it work. And, this past fall, it all kind of kicked in. I went through a couple moments of they call it nonprofit burnout, when nothing's happening, you're trying to ask people for money, donations, and all that good stuff. But this past fall, the giving season kind of helped us out, reached out. I'm old school, so I went door to door businesses, handing out marketing materials and telling them what we're doing and say, if you want to join us, by all means. But I've been volunteering, helping out veterans for over 2 years now through soldiersangels.org out of San Antonio. There's a chapter here in Charleston, and then showing up to a local transition home. You guys are talking about homeless vets. It's called Patriot Villas. That's where all our money goes to for donations for non-perishables, clothes, toiletries, and basically whatever they need. Other than that, what we do as well is provide 1 meal a month, prepared meal. It's usually a lunch on a Friday. Other organizations do it as well. So it's about 50 to 60 meals for the veterans. They come in and then they pick up their meal after we prepare it and put it all together, and they have a free pantry where they get all their supplies as well. So, it's just, for me, it was just show up. I had no idea what I was doing and just showed up.
First of all, I didn't mean to rush you. I apologize.
No, you're fine, man. It's all good.
Let's start at the beginning. Tell us you to start with. Are you a veteran personally?
I am not a veteran. No.
You did not serve your nation, but you now serve veterans?
Yes. When I was 18, I wanted to go, but I couldn't go because of medical. I was born with clubfoot.
Okay.
Everybody knows what that was. So my feet were this way. They had to turn them this way, and I've always had messed up legs and feet. So when I was 18, back in 91, I wanted to sign up and go, but they wouldn't take me because of medical. And then from there,
lucky that you did not get the chance to go. So that's a good thing. That's okay. Especially at a time then, because in 91, that was right at
Desert Storm.
So I'm glad you didn't have to go through it. So what caused you to start RJ's mission?
So 2 years ago, March of 21, RJ's mission was born the day after I had a conversation with a Marine veteran friend of mine who was going through mental health issues. And I was on the phone with him, and he said he had a gun in his hand and he was going to kill himself. So the next day is, whether you want to call it epiphany, kick in the ass, whatever you want to call it. Next day is when I started telling myself, how can I help? He wasn't local here. He is getting help in the private sector, so he's doing well. But right after that conversation, next day was, what can I do to give back? How can I serve our veterans, first responders and so forth? And, for me, both my grandfathers were Army. Came back. One was a firefighter and one was a police officer. So it's always been in my family. So, it's the transition home is 75 veterans roughly. So we concentrate on that. And that's the first place I went to want to show up and volunteer. So ever since, it's kind of just hit home. So, I've always lived by, everyone should have food, clothing, and shelter. If I can't do the shelter, at least I can do the food and the clothing and supplies and whatever else they need. Necessities of life, man. It's the basic things that everybody should have. So that's
RJ's mission is 2 years old right now. Is that what you're telling me?
Just over 2 years, yes.
Very nice. Do you know roughly how many veterans you've had the opportunity to touch? Plus or minus?
Ooh, So every month it's
You've got a long list. He might not have as long a list.
no, I mean, it's 60 to 70 every month times 27 months or so that we touch by doing, whether we've only been doing meals just this past year.
Mm-hmm.
So we do one meal a month. We'd like to get to 2, but I've been showing up at, whether it's this transition home, Soldiers Angels, we do food distribution for 210 low-income veteran families that come through. It's set up. They get 75 pounds of food.
Wow.
So it's, it's not reinventing the wheel. All you have to do is Google it, and there's volunteer opportunities. If you don't want to go physically, you can do virtual deployment packages. Go to the dollar store, buy a bunch of stuff that they have on their list. Soldiers Angels already provides a list. And you just pack it up once a month. I mean, there are requirements. You got to do 1 package a month. You could do 2 cards or 2 letters. It's just, you can do it. At Christmas time, we've been asked to do Christmas cards for the troops. So last year it was a little late, but we raised, $700 for postage in 2 weeks. The nonprofit I went through that asked us to help did over 10,000 cards for the troops, 186 care packages. They were fairly large care packages because they went to a group of service members. But yeah, I mean, anywhere we can help out, we'd like to get into the first responders, especially firefighters. Since my grandfather was a firefighter, it goes right along with 9/11 for me. My wife and I do the Travis Manion Foundation. We do the walk every fall for 9/11 and so forth. Oh yeah, hey, look at that. Is that what? So yeah, it's whatever I can do in my time, and it turned into my mission. And we got the foundation, and that's it, man.
So you are internet worldwide, dude. I mean, the whole world is listening to you. Everybody's hearing you right now. Let's start at where can people find you? Are you on the Book of Faces? Are you on Instagram? Do you do TikTok dances and all that stuff?
No, not with these legs. You don't want to see these skinny things. I was born with no calves.
Him too.
Instagram, Facebook, rjsmission.com. We're redoing the website right now to go to a .org, which is more recognizable. We have only 4 board members. One of my good friends, he's a Marine veteran, not the one I spoke about, but he goes to events with me. We do whatever we can. VFWs have learned about us. So I've spoken at a couple of the VFWs around here, American Legion, whatever I can do to get the word out, spread it. Actually, I have an interview tomorrow here locally on a local show in Charleston, doing an interview. It's slow and steady, man. I've learned to slow down so I don't get burnt out like I was, and not take on too much. But like I said, I'm in awe of you guys, the veterans, and I just wish that people knew that not just, there's homeless people and so forth, but to me, the everyday heroes that people don't realize need help. When you go to the transition home for the first time, I tell people, handing out food and talking to them, they tell you thank you. And that was the weirdest feeling for me. When a veteran's telling me thank you, and I'm like, by no means, it's, I'm here to serve you. As our tagline, man, give back, give thanks, and give yourself. It doesn't take much to just get off your ass and get out there and do something. I showed up by myself. I have no problem doing that.
When you were talking about all the different, you can help remotely, you can help this way, you can help that way. You can always do the easiest thing in the world, which is one of, I think, the most needed that we all struggle with, is money to do the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
You can always put that credit card number in, donate $5, donate $10. Like, every little bit helps.
That's
involved in that. Because there are a lot of different organizations out there like yours in particular, because we're talking to you right now, but you're hands-on in the moment. and are going to get the most efficiency and the most bang out of the buck,
So one of my biggest things that I tell people is we are 100% voluntary, and 100% of donations that you make go back to the veterans at Patriot Villas, because I pay for the overhead or out of my pocket. Whatever expenses are needed, whether it's bookkeeping, advertising, whatever, that all comes out of my pocket. I refuse to take any sort of like paycheck or whatever you want to call it for nonprofit. It's so the hardest thing, like you said, the hardest thing is the money. It was hard for me to ask for donations, but you know what? At this point, you get used to it. You just ask, and if someone says no, you just move on.
Well, I'm going to help you out because we have someone listening right now. His name is Eric Reed, and he makes way too much money. He is extremely wealthy. And
He's
so
one of the wealthiest guys I know.
He is by far and away. Have you ever seen his Harley? In spite of that, he's still a nice guy. And he's listening right now. And so how can Eric Reed donate most of his paycheck to RJ's mission?
If you go to rjsmission.com, you can sign up. It says donate. It's through Donor Box. So you will get a receipt. And I mean, it's just that simple. What's that?
I said he's not worried about that. He makes enough money.
Yeah. Donor. You can just go straight to rjsmission.com and hit the donate button. There's a whole page for it.
Awesome. Well, you're doing good stuff, RJ. Thank you for that.
Yeah, man. You're doing
absolutely,
great.
Man.
Never stop what you're doing. Never stop. What do you call it? What else? Excellent. Oh, time to go.
No, it's work.
Uh-oh.
It's that other thing I do that sometimes.
All right, man.
Go
ahead.
Like you, RJ, we're the same way. Like we, build this stuff, with our own stuff.
You know how hard it was to build this underground bunker?
Yeah, there's some steel down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't take paychecks. So I feel like you're in the same boat as me and Rob, where I feel like at least once a month they should double our pay.
His haircut's probably better.
I bet you his haircut's similar to. Oh no. Oh yeah. Looking good.
Damn.
I'm lazy, man. I got hair. I just shave it off. I'm too lazy.
So
it's an inconvenience.
Well, but you don't have as much to shave.
Not around the. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, man. So check it out. You have a worldwide audience right now on the internet radio. Life is good, and this is probably going to get rebroadcast on WTF radio because they're awesome people and we love them too. So that being said, RJ, take the next 2 minutes. We may have skipped over a question. We may have glossed over something you wanted to talk about. We may have not given you the question you wanted to answer. Whatever it may be, take the next 2 minutes. The floor is all yours. Talk to the world about how they can support RJ's mission.
So one of the hardest and biggest things to keep this mission going and helping our veterans and grow is funding, donations, rjsmission.com. It's hard for people to ask for money, but at this point, everybody sees what's going on in the world. But I think we need to take care of our heroes at home, veterans, service members. We need to honor, respect, and show our appreciation. So the biggest thing is, funding to keep the food, the clothes, the supplies coming to our veterans, especially here that we're serving in the Low Country, Patriot Villas. We definitely want to grow, so we can't do it without you. We can only do so much. We want to hit as many veterans as we can, one at a time. That's what it takes. And, $10, that covers one meal every month for our veterans. So, if I get 50 people, that's 50 meals. That's one meal a month that we can do. Simple donation. If I get 50 people every month, sending in $10, that's all I need. And then I'm happy. We are doing well, small but well, that we can do a stipend every month for their supplies. And, like I said, there's other homes that we'd like to hit up as well. One of the biggest things is people don't realize when you get into the nonprofit world for your niche, which for us is the veterans, there are so many other small nonprofits that just you don't know about, that you find out about. There's so many that do stuff for mental health, hunting, fishing, surfing, getting them out there, getting the outdoors for therapy. Our board member, Chris, he is a Marine veteran. His therapy, he woodworks. He makes some of the most incredible, I don't even know how he does it. It's just he uses his hands and, his woodworking is his thing. So for us, the biggest thing is, everybody sees tragedy happening. It's already here. It's already here. And people, we need help to take care of it. We need help to take care of our service members, our first responders. That's another big thing. First responders with mental illness. People never talk about it. The stigma that's there. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay. If someone's not going to ask for help, I don't mind saying, how are you doing today? I'm not going to ask them how they're feeling, because I think that's, how are you doing? What do you need? How can I help you? How can I put a smile on your face? But our biggest thing, is always funding to keep it going.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking to RJ with RJ's Mission. RJ, I can't thank you enough for being a part of the show, taking time out of your Monday night to be a part of From the Ashes on About Face Media. Really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be a part of our little organization here. I'm sure Eric Reed will drop $1 million donation in there in the next 5-10 minutes. There's way too much money. He doesn't know what to do with it all. So he's probably happy to help. Hey, our guy, Craig Stakowitz, who listens to our show semi-regularly when he's not choking out his kids at jiu-jitsu, says, go race startups. I'll send you the link later. But yeah, he says, definitely got Eric Reed. I got 5 on it. Ways to raise some money. So RJ, thanks a lot for being a part of the show.
Thank you much. Have a good one.
You too, man. Be good.
What I really liked is how he's like, let him do therapy. Get outside. Go hunting. Go fishing. Therapy does not have to involve somebody sitting across from you saying, how do you feel about that?
Yeah. So tell me about your mother.
Yeah.
Well. Agreed, dude.
Right,
I think that's more therapeutic, get on the mats, doing some yoga, doing some choking each other out, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I think that I have never left the jiu-jitsu mat without a gigantic smile on my face. Hurting, but not without a gigantic smile on my face.
And you got some physical health benefits too. All I get sitting in a chair in front of some crazy person umming and asking me how I feel is I get crampy and sore. So
I hate it. All right, let's talk to our homegirl Allie, because did you see her TikTok today?
No.
You're not a TikToker.
I have one.
Yeah. I think I send you stuff once in a while. Usually chick with boobs, but other than that,
yeah. And then it takes me like 10 minutes to figure out how to watch it because I got to get to the TikTok, and I don't understand how it works because I'm old. And
so, being from Massachusetts, we know that she has that temper.
Yeah,
dude, she went off on TikTok today, and I mean, lit the fuse, went bananas. It was great. So
I feel like I should be more active on TikTok though.
No. You have a life and children. Don't do that.
Okay.
Here, let's bring her on so she can have her rant on here. Oh, hey, Allie, how are you?
Hi, boys.
Basically, just said you don't have a life.
I know. I heard that. I don't have a wife, but I have a son.
Is it possible? Did y'all hear his name changed to Fort Casamigos?
Casamigos? No. Who is that guy?
That was Eric Reed.
There's so many things that are fucked up today, you guys. I am so pissed.
She's been waiting for like 3 hours for this moment right here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Let me tell you how I feel. Yeah, all right. So you guys know, right, that I absolutely hate shit VSOs, okay? But you know what? But do you know what I hate more than shit VSOs?
Harley riders.
No, because I'm a Harley rider. I hate shitty leadership.
Oh.
I hate shitty NCOs, especially selfish, shitty NCOs. So I have a guy who is also TikTok famous, quote unquote, and he and I did his VA claim, and he and I developed a friendship like I did with you guys, like I did, tons of veterans. We become friends, okay? Not only did I do his claim, but he actually wanted to get educated on stuff. So I taught him. I said, listen, you're not accredited, so you can't put a claim together, but you can educate on who a VSO is, what they do, different crap that you can do on va.gov, okay? So this NCO, airman, wants to wanted to, had a sergeant's time training already lined up for redeploying soldiers and say, hey, listen, since you guys are guardsmen, you have 5 years of VA healthcare because you deployed, you have your GI Bill, your education, blah, blah, blah. Well, his leadership said absolutely not. And my guy's like, why not? That sounds kind of dumb. Like, you're a leader. You want to educate these guys. And he says, give them every reason under the sun, like Joe Biden and I suffered, so they have to, and they're too young to need health care, and just shit, right? So my buddy was pretty upset, and they go back and forth, 20-minute argument. He's like, you know what? Let's just agree to disagree, and he walks away. The NCO says, wait, but you can help me with my claim, right? Mother trucker, you literally almost. You're so against having these returning soldiers or service members be educated on what they have waiting for them, but you want your own shit taken care of. That is just nonsense to me. Or the platoon sergeants, the first sergeants, the tech sergeants, the master sergeants, the gunnery sergeants who say, you can't go to sick call. We need all hands on deck because we have to go fucking clean out the Connex. But yet this soldier has been in pain for weeks. And if you guys have been listening to me for more than a day, you know you need these things documented in your service treatment records. You know that you need a diagnosis because it's going to help you when you get out of service. Because believe it or not, there is life after the military, I promise. Even if you do 20, 25, 30 years, you will eventually get out and have to start life over. And wouldn't it be helpful to get an extra $2,000 a month for the rest of your life, right? So take an hour and go to sick call and get your shit documented. And if you are a leader and you are listening to my voice right now and you are literally denying your soldiers, your Marines, your airmen access to healthcare, to sick call, you are a piece of shit and you should just give up your stripes. Because there is no reason, there is no mission on the planet more important that your guys can't wait 1 hour to go get something documented.
Or taken care of. Yeah, not just documented, but get some lovely military healthcare.
Some of our listeners.
Eric, I'm going to punch you. I swear to God, you better never, ever cross my path. You better never cross my path.
And I believe he is completely serious when he feels that way. I only know that because he was a hard-charging NCO when I knew him. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can be a hard-charging NCO, but you also need to be taking care of your soldiers.
I didn't go to sick call.
I never took care of soldiers. Fuck them. I mean, so yeah, I don't know.
Weren't you a medic?
Look at her face.
Weren't you a medic?
I am amazed
God.
that you didn't. So I can see the temporal vein on the right side of your head doing this as you're talking. I can't believe you haven't had stroke symptoms today. Allie, how's your week been? You doing okay? Having a good day? How's the new job?
Different. It's different. Different clientele. Different.
How's
different.
your tinnitus?
How's my what? My what?
Tinnitus doing?
My what?
Your tinnitus.
Oh my God! You guys are just.
It'd have been better if she heard us the first
I know.
time.
You know what?
No. That made it better. She said what like 5 times. That's what made it funny.
I was actually asked to do a legitimate radio show on FM something something and AM something something on Mondays. Yep, Mondays at 11.
We're international.
Ow!
We're on the world.
You see what she did there? She tried to like a real radio show.
On the real radio, yeah. So no, I have been asked to do the show. It's called Ask Your Veterans Agent. I will be taking it over another veterans agent. So I'm excited about that. We're gonna start transitioning probably the beginning of June. People can call it. It is live. It is over the radio. There's no, which I'm a little nervous because I'm not going to have a censor, right? I'm not going to have someone going in and editing.
Do not go on FM radio and be like, man, fuck the VA.
I know. I'm going to have to put little sticky notes like, don't cuss. But I've done live shows here and there, but I've never actually been the host of one. You know, I do little segments like this, but I just, so that'll be different. That'll be new. And then it's different going from a town with a town manager, and if I need something, I just knock on his door, Bill, I need this, blah, blah, blah. But now I have a mayor, and the mayor has a chief of staff, and everyone calls her the mayor and Madam Mayor and this and that. And I'm just like, well, why can't I just go ask her for what I need? Well, you have to go through the chief of staff, and then there's a CFO, a chief financial officer, and it is just, it's different. It's different. And they're like, oh, you can't wear jeans. I'm like, says who? I wore jeans today. Like, well, we work in City Hall, and I'm better dressed in jeans than some of you guys wearing not jeans, but you're in like leggings and stuff. So
we're just excited to find out that you wear pants when you're on the radio. We had no idea, dude.
Not always. Not always. But guys, yeah. So let me just make this final point, guys. Like, I know I'm angry, and if you ever cross my path, like I'm gonna ask you, if you're a shitbag, guys, if you are in a leadership position, if you are, I don't even say blessed enough to take care of people, then that is your goal. That is your mission. You want your mission to be a success, then make sure your people are taken care of. Make sure that they're not in pain. Get their meds, get the rehabilitation, get the physical therapy. Your job as an NCO, your job as an officer is to make sure your people are taken care of. You take care of your people, they're going to take care of you. I promise. That's all I got.
Well, Allie, I haven't been to the Northeast in over 20 years. And that's intentional, just because the Patriots are there. The New England Patriots, that is. Anyway, we opened the show with veterans homelessness. Is homelessness as big an issue in the New England metro area as it is here in the Denver metro area?
Absolutely. In every metropolitan city across the country. Absolutely. I'm sorry.
How would you fix it?
Well, if I had that answer, I'd be president of the United States. I don't know.
The election's next year.
I don't think he has the answer either.
Yeah, no shit, clearly.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was waiting to get online, and news, article flashed across my feed, and it said that homeless veterans are being kicked out of hotels to make room for illegal migrants.
Now you're about to watch Seth go have his temper tantrum.
You gotta log in a little earlier. So I've been fucking reading about it all day.
So it's true?
It is fucking true.
See, that's that bullshit. That's how we end veteran homelessness. Kick out, and listen, I'm not a fan of immigration, right? My parents are immigrants. I grew up overseas. My parents came like straight off the boat. My dad enlisted in the army to earn his citizenship, right? Like, America is made of migrants and of immigrants.
We're a nation of migrants. That's exactly right.
Absolutely. I love this country, but do it the right way. Do it the right way.
I mean, yeah, it blows my fucking mind. So some of the details, loose details, but they're paying approximately $100 more for a migrant or a homeless migrant than a homeless veteran. So the hotel owners and hotel management is what is exactly pushing them out, because they're getting paid more for the migrant.
$100. You're gonna literally ruin somebody's life over $100.
Yeah, Allie, can you stay while we talk to Trin, our other favorite female motorcycle rider, who is also an immigrant, if I remember correctly. Hang on, let's bring her on. Trin, how the heck are you?
Hey, Allie for president.
Already getting shut down.
Hey.
Hi, Trin.
Hi. So, yes, I am an immigrant, and I did it the right way. I still have a picture of me as an airman basic swearing in. And because, that's what we do. So yes, I tell you, we have a problem, and it's sort of a mismanagement of the funds. But this is why everybody should vote. Voting is so important. So, anyways,
while we have you and Allie at the same time, because I love having you two on at the same time, that cracks me up to no end. Veterans homelessness, Trin, how would you fix it?
I would start with refunding veterans programs, and it can't go through the VA. I tell you, that is the quagmire that veterans face. And all money for veterans go through this quagmire. And, you know, we have proven time and time again that the VA isn't about veterans. And they make it as hard as humanly possible. And so that's my 2 cents.
We say it all the time. Overpaid VSOs and all that stuff. We say it all the time.
Yes, and
Ali,
undereducated.
Stop making that face.
I know you're kidding. So there's a program, there's a national program called SSVF, Supporting Services for Veterans and Their Families. And the majority of that grant is homelessness. Now, I worked the SSVF grant when I left corporate America and before I worked for the Commonwealth as a disabled veteran outreach program specialist. I did 3 months working the streets as a homeless coordinator as for SSVF. And let me tell you, the amount of paperwork I had to do for this stupid grant to get a mattress. Okay, someone got an apartment and all they needed was funds for a mattress. It was 20-something pages for one mattress, and I had to prove that this veteran needed, right, and couldn't afford a mattress. That's a month of bank statements. I'm like, it's a freaking mattress. I'll buy the damn thing. Like, this is awful. This is why veterans get so discouraged, because it's almost not worth the hassle. And then if you don't have a sympathetic or empathetic caseworker, you definitely don't want to apply for anything, because they're going to make you feel like shit. They're going to embarrass you. They're going to make you feel like you're not worthy. It was a mattress. Like, come on.
They'd rather you just buy it yourself out of your pocket, because they know there's people like you, myself, and Trin who will just open up our credit card and be like, hey, man, it's just $200. Yeah, it's just $200, but you compound that by however many veterans. So, hey, Ali, thank you for being a part of the show tonight. Congratulations on this new radio show. We want to hear as much about it so that we can tune in. And yeah, Trin, give me a second. Let me kick the deadwood to the curb. And yeah, Ali, be good.
Never. Bye. Bye.
I love her.
I know. Isn't she awesome?
Yeah. And I have never seen Seth react like he did. Yeah, that's a new thing.
It doesn't happen often, but when it does, get out of the way.
Yeah, well, I totally agree. I think we can do so much more for veterans, and me and Team 9 in San Antonio are part of Veterans Resources Team, and we try and do outreach for veterans as best we can. But you know, a lot of the homeless issues can be addressed. We just need to get the funding. So,
Trent, I would tell you that there is no better advocate for veterans than Oconell West Law. You guys, I have friends that call all the time. I have a very good friend who I worked with back in Connecticut who reached out to you guys. And I'm not exaggerating when I say you folks saved his life. It's not an exaggeration.
Well, I tell you, we love working with veterans, and we're celebrating Spouses Appreciation.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I got to tell 2 things for spouses. 1, you can have access to the base anytime. If your military member is telling you, true story,
hey,
you can't get on base, or you know, if you want to get on base, there you have to get investigated and all that. So spouses, trust me, you have access to the base with your ID card. Just get on base. Here's the second thing.
You're ruining this for me. I got hoes in different zip codes, and you're ruining it.
Tell you. But you know, it's Spouses Appreciation, so I have to do things for the spouse. But second thing, little known to spouses, is you have access to free legal advice on base at the legal office by virtue of you holding a military ID card. So just because your spouse has gone to the base office doesn't mean that you don't get to go and they give you another office if you have opposing interests. So 2 things for spouse. That's a tip, free tip from Oconell West. And then if the folks on base can't help you, you know, you should call us.
I knew she was going to go there. That's awesome.
and you know, Doug was making me laugh because he sent me this before you can even ask. Office line is 512-547-7265. And then, of course, you can check us out at OconnellWest.com.
You know, I only got to work with Doug for 2 years, but man, it was the best 2 years. I had so much fun.
You know, I'm having that same kind of fun with him now. And I tell you, what a great firm to work with. And if you want to come see me at Oconell West San Antonio, we have an office here now. So look us up.
Is that you and Lori? Are you and Lori there together?
No, it's me and whoever from Austin wants to come down. So there's no set person. It's just me here.
That's kind of awesome. How's the riding down there these days?
It rained like crazy today, so not so good today. But generally, it's been really nice, like 70 degrees, you know. You can ride without sweating to death, that kind of thing.
Well, Trin, I can't thank you enough for being a part of From the Ash on About Face Media. It's always good to have you on, and we always get great responses. So please come back as often as you possibly can. And yes, we will be down to San Antonio before too long to come see you guys. I'm coming to see you soon. Oh, we have listeners already saying, hey, they're going to come see you. That's pretty awesome.
That would be awesome. Come see me anytime and text or call me.
All right. Thanks so much,
okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You know,
she's so awesome.
I feel like if she's going to come on and be giving spouse information, we need to be able to clear it ahead of time, just in case.
Yeah, right?
Like, we both have wives. They like to listen to our show.
Yeah, well,
sometimes.
Mine will never listen to the show. Thank God. Yeah. You know what happened to me if I got home and she'd heard the hose in different zip codes comment? I'd be a dead man. I fear no man and one woman. So, yeah. Good stuff. What do you call it? We are getting close to the bottom of the barrel.
We are very much getting close. So we do need to remind you guys, combat flip-flops.
Love those guys.
Go for it. Give me the info.
So if summer is coming, after you go get that pedicure, because I know guys like Nick Burney and all those guys listening, Donkey, you guys, you're going to go get pedicures. You need a good pair of flip-flops afterwards. So go to Combat Flip-Flops. While you're there, enter the code ABOUTFACE. You're going to get 30% off your flippity-floppities to show off your new pedicure. And we get 15% of that. How freaking cool is that?
And by we, he means the nonprofit, not me and Rob.
No. Our food gets donated by what is it? Panda Rolls. By Panda Rolls, delicious food, by the way. Yeah. And there's one more. So we got, now that you got your flippity floppities on, you got your pasty white freaking legs sticking out.
Now I went ahead this week. I had to up the collection, so I hit up Lance and thigh huggers, gentlemen, ladies. Okay, go to thighhuggers.com. They make not just shorts; they add a ton of really cool stuff. If you enter the code ONESHOT, you get 30% off, and again, 15% goes to nonprofit. Helps us help other veterans.
Yeah, excellent. John Ope is watching. Oh, the boss is watching. And that's why we are such a professional nonprofit with well-organized finances and excellent leadership.
I'm glad he logged in the last few seconds of one of our best shows.
So it's time for the safety brief. Look, he and I can spout all day long on the safety brief and tell you guys how to have a safe week. That's not the point of the safety brief. You got to go around the circle. If you got some safety brief tips, send them. Like John Old, let's see what you got, man. You got something good for the safety brief. In the meantime, for this week's safety brief, what do you
go first? I wrote notes and all this different stuff.
And you let them up. Completely forgot about the safety brief. We talked about this.
First. I know. No, I didn't forget. I forgot about the safety brief altogether. Man, I'll come up with one.
It's like Trin said. It's been raining. Here in Colorado, it's been raining as well. So Texas as well. This morning, one of my favorite motorcycle riders is like, it's going to be a long ride into work this morning. And I walked out and was looking at his bike while we were talking. His rear tire is bald, essentially bald. Do you have to get that? No. Does that work? What do you call it? Check your tires on your cars, on your motorcycles, everything. If you have a bald rear tire on your motorcycle, don't ride it in the rain. It's not going to end well. So that is my safety tip for this coming week.
Tires. Do it on the same thing. don't just check your tires, folks. Especially you veterans, you remember doing your payday activities /
You're dating yourself.
POV inspection.
I don't know if that's a
They
thing
don't have that
anymore. I don't know. I don't know if it's a thing
I used to
anymore.
love that. You get off at 1 o'clock in order to be released to your squad
Payday
leader and
activities.
get smoked until
Exactly.
1500,
That's what I remember.
17, 1800, I don't know. But either way, check your vehicles. Make sure you're legal. Make sure everything's in working function. Lights, horn.
That's
Second
actually
horn.
really good advice because I mean,
I like to honk a lot.
My horn doesn't work on my truck, which is for the best. It keeps me out of trouble. I've gotten in significantly less trouble since the horn doesn't work in my truck.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah. Eric Reed says, don't add to this population, don't subtract from the population. Always good advice.
I like that.
Yeah, but
At least not over the weekend. Plan that out for the week when you're,
you're
thinking
adding
straight.
or subtracting.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. All right, folks, check it out. So we are out of here. That's the show for the week. Thank you to RJ's Mission. Before we cut you guys loose, let me check to see what we got for next week. Thank you to RJ's Mission for being a part of the show. It was great having you on. Interview with Dr. Tara Lynn. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. Do you remember me talking to you about this girl, Dr. Tara Lynn?
Right.
She is a psychiatrist that feels that or talks about how people are overdiagnosing themselves here. And I'm kind of grooving on her attitude on stuff. So yeah. So yeah, next week we'll have Dr. Tara Lynn on the show. Don't forget to order your flip-flops and don't forget to order your shorts. And thank you so much for being a part of From the Ashes on About Face Media. We love you. Go and donate. Go on our website and make a donation. Help us out. Put more DJs on the air. So later on, have a great week.
See you guys next week.